why your fear is holding you back, but also how do you overcome it? Let's chat about it. Peace and cheers as always, folks. Mark, Flying Health Coach, coming at you. Happy insert day whenever we get to this video. As the intro says, today we're talking about fear. I'm going to give you my acronym for fear. I want to talk about how fear is preventing you from achieving the life that you want, but also some things that you can do. Well, one main thing you can do that's going to help you overcome your fear and help you get across that threshold, across that barrier, right? Before we get there though, right? Let's get ourselves nice and centered. I love doing weird stuff. To me, that's getting centered, right? For me, because when I get myself in a happy state, I'm more calm, I'm more authentic, and I can provide you guys a better message. So, whatever you got to do to get centered, pause the video now really quick if that's some breath work, whatever it is, but strap in, let's talk about some fear, okay? So, fear. To me, fear stands for false evidence appearing real. I'll say that again. False evidence appearing real. Why? Because fear is kind of like time. If you're into that, it's a construct. It's something that you've created inside your noggin. How have you created it over the past years of your life? You've created it from the experiences that you had, right? All the perceptions you've developed on your life have built into insights, right? All the experiences, all your belief systems you've gained as a kid up until where you are now, you develop certain fears. Big example, right? As you're a kid, why do you become afraid of the dark? Because maybe your mom said there's monsters in there, your friend said there's monsters in there, you watched a scary show or something like that where monsters came out of the dark. If you never had that experience in your life, you would never be afraid of the dark, right? You wouldn't. It's same thing that goes like with, if you're trying to talk to a pretty girl nowadays, right? Some point in your life, you developed a fear that if I go talk to someone, they're going to disown me, think I'm ugly, think I'm weird, think I'm this, think I'm whatever, right? So you've developed a fear inside your brain, and that fear, that emotion, you associate with pain, right? So that's what you're really trying to avoid. You're trying to avoid pain. Rightfully so. No one wants to feel pain. As Tony Robbins says, people will do more to avoid pain than they will to gain pleasure, right? But what's that fear doing to you right now? It's keeping you stuck in a complacent state, right? That fear you have is preventing you from really busting through that threshold and busting through that barrier to become the person that you want to be, right? There's a lot of steps to it, yes, but fear is always such a big one for so many people, right? And again, that could be fear of talking to a pretty girl, right? But that pain is so great of you being rejected that you'll never do it, right? That fear of you going for that career you want, the fear of you, career applying for that job, right? All that stuff. The pain of rejection prevents you from doing it, right? Because you don't want to feel that. So what's the act? Well, the act is to not act. The act is to do nothing, because you're in your mind. It's like, well, if I do nothing, I won't feel the pain, right? So it's a defense mechanism, right? How hundreds of thousands of years ago in your brain, right? It was saber-toothed tigers. It was, other people coming to try to potentially kill me and take my food and steal my family, whatever it might be, right? Nowadays, that fear is a little bit different. It's still the same biochemistry. It's still the same biological fear that we've had thousands of years ago. Has not changed. It's just different context now, right? So your fear is preventing you from getting where you want. It's false evidence appearing real in your brain that you've created, and that's one of the biggest kickers, right? When you can understand that you are the creator of your fear, you can start to recognize it, like I have very recently, right? And I never really thought twice about this stuff till I actually sat down and just thought about it. Like, why am I scared to live my best version of my life? And when I thought about it, I'm like, duh. It's because I'm trying to avoid the pain, right? So, and it makes total sense when you really think about it. Now, question is, how do you overcome your fears to become the person that you want to be? How do you overcome your fears to go talk to that girl, to apply for that job, to go for the career that you want, to make more money, be successful, right? Because that's a real thing. People are scared to be successful because it requires work, right? And they want to avoid the pain of doing more work, or avoid the pain of failing, okay? It's quite the story that we tell ourselves, folks. I tell you that right now. I know, because I've done it too. So, how do you overcome your fear? One simple way is action, right? Action will dispel your fear in a heartbeat. Now, you're thinking, Mark, well, if I'm scared to go talk to that pretty girl, I can't just all of a sudden get up and go talk to a pretty girl. Well, you can, right? Because you're telling yourself that you can. It's a limiting belief. You can do that. However, I get that for some people, it can be a big step. So, what's one thing that you can do in one small thing? What's one small decision that you can make that's an action, right? That's going to help build that muscle, right? Because repetition is the mother of skill, okay? You don't have to just get up right now and psych yourself up and, like, if you're like, a gym goer, like you go to the gym, you're like, oh my God, there's that girl over there. I want to talk to her for months and months on end. I'm never going to do it because I'm just too scared of rejection, right? When you start to associate having more pain of not doing something, right, and then feel the pleasure of doing something, that's when you start to make those switches. So what I would recommend that you do, and again, doesn't have to be a pretty girl, it can be a job that you want, it can be whatever it is that you're scared to do right now. Make a decision first and foremost, but when you decide, act on it immediately, right? Act on it right now, act on it today. Go do something that's going to help you become a little bit less fearful. If you're scared to talk to somebody, right? Great example, something you can do. Just go out to the mall or go shopping or go do something and just strike up a conversation with a worker at like a clothing store or something. Ask their opinion on stuff, right? Just build that muscle, right? Just build that mental muscle of just talking to people, right? For me, years ago when I was really bad at doing this, because I've been there too, I would just start talking with the gas station person a little bit. I would go ask questions to people at the mall about like current styles of clothes. Like, hey, just, what's your opinion on this? Like, what's kind of the in look these days, right? Get a conversation going. And as you do that more and more, you start to get more confident, thinking like, okay, yeah, I can do this, right? It's not as bad. You're building a mental muscle inside your head to the point where you can say, you know what, today I'm deciding I'm going to do it. That's an example. Okay, another example is if it's with your career, right? If you're scared of being successful, scared of going for that job, same thing. Decide to act, right? The best thing that I found to do in my life is if you're really frightful of a job, right? Because what do a lot of people do? Like they'll go online and they'll apply for a job that they want. That's it. But they don't do anything else. It's like, okay, I applied. That's good enough. I can handle an email back. Take another step forward. Call, right? Call and talk to someone. Call and talk to the HR director. Call and talk to the hiring manager. Call and talk to somebody and just get your name out there, right? But when you decide to act and you make a decision that's going to help you overcome that fear and help you just potentially get to where you want to go, again, you're building that mental muscle, you're getting that repetition in there. And all that stuff is going to help you gradually not be so scared anymore, right? Because even if you do get rejected from that pretty girl, even if you don't get that job, you acted, you did something despite of a fear that you had. And the more you keep doing that stuff, the more you keep building that muscle, the more you're really not going to feel that fear anymore. Now, I know I bless Tony Robbins' heart for figuring out the neuroassociative conditioning, and that's another video I want to do sometime down the road when I really start to learn it well. And because that fear, it's a neural association that you have. It's a conditioned response in your mind, right? You've developed this response in your mind that if I do this, this is going to happen. So I'm going to feel more pain by doing that. We'll get to that at some other point, but I'm telling you right now, just some small steps you can do. Act, right? Act no matter how big or small it might be, but do something that you're just a little scared to do, right? You can do it. It is possible, but you're a little scared, right? You have to do something that's going to scare you a little bit to help you overcome those bigger fears. So sit down tonight or whenever you get a chance, write down, what am I truly scared of, right? Why am I scared of that? And when you write that down, okay, at least I have it on paper now. I see what I'm scared of, right? Because you think about it, but write it on paper. It's going to help you a lot more to write it on paper and actually visualize it and look at it. Now I think, okay, well, yeah, that's scary. I know why I'm scared of it. What can I decide today? What's one small act I can do to help me overcome that fear? and just make it something small. Get the ball rolling in some direction, right? If you do that, I promise you, the ball's going to keep rolling. You're going to keep making new decisions, even if you're a little bit scared to do it, and it's going to help you over time. Okay? So, hope the video was helpful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe up in the corner, Flying Health Coach, about to say at Gmail. Like and subscribe up in the corner. My email account, flyinghealthcoach@gmail.com, if you're ever interested in doing one-on-one coaching with me. Again, the first call is always free to see if coaching is a good fit for you. And last but not least, my book, Flying Health Coach, A Starting Guide How to Un-F Your Life. 13, 14 pages for free. Download on my YouTube page. If you like what you read, cool. You can purchase the book for $6.99 right below a link in my YouTube page on lulu.com. And as always, guys, I do these videos just to make you think a little bit differently, hopefully to give you some kind of tools to help you become the best version of you. At the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do, right? So anyways, till next time, peace and cheers, folks.